My name is Michael Mastro. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at the chart for Pele, who is said to be one of the greatest football player or soccer players of all time. If you look to the eastern horizon using sidereal zodiac, Vedic astrology, you would see the constellation associated with Leo rising at 16 degrees. We're going to see how the planets are operating and how it affects his karma, and when those planetary periods are operating at different points in his life, and what we could do to strengthen the chart. So, uh, Sun is less than 5 degrees, so it's said to be an infant state, and infants cannot promote or protect their own significations. So it's weak, just slightly weak, um, and it's ruling the first house of vitality and life purpose. Gives him leadership abilities in his soccer career. Then we have um, Moon, which is at 28 degrees, and Moon is ruling the 12th house. It is a multiconal sign, so it becomes functional malefic, and it's in old age. Again, difficulty in protecting and promoting its own significations. So the 12th house has to do with surgeries. He's had many surgeries for his knees, etc. And he's done a lot of service work. 12th house has to do with helping others and doing service, as well as surgery and other things. Um, the Mars is weak because its landlord, which is Mercury, is weak, and Mars can't be any stronger than its landlord, which is Mercury. So, and it's afflicted by Rahu, exact affliction. So Mars is ruling the house of good fortune, and Mars itself having to do with sports, and it's also ruling the house that had to do with hips, which he's had many hip injuries. And then we have old age Mercury, um, again having trouble promoting and protecting its own significations. Mercury is ruling the house of wealth and fame, and gives him wealth and fame through um, sports, and he has some restaurants as well, and that house has to do with lung issues. Then we have weak dispositor, landlord for Jupiter as well, gives Jupiter's ruling the house of sports, and it's placed in the house of good fortune. So connects good fortune again through sports. Jupiter itself has to do with hip and colon issues, which he has had both. Um, and then you have weak dispositor, landlord again for Venus. Venus is ruling the house of success in sports in his case, and it is also connected to kidney and respiratory issues, which he had. And then Saturn is ruling the house of partnerships, and it is placed in the first house. Um, so Saturn, uh, excuse me, is placed in the uh, ninth house. So it connects partnerships with good fortune, his ability to work with his teammates to be a winning soccer team. Um, I think he had partnerships in the restaurants. He had a couple of marriages. It is a little bit slightly weak, and it is also connected to urinary and back problems, which he had both. Rahu and Ketu, um, Uh, they are close to the most effective point in his situation, and they afflict health, family, and career. Now let's look at the timing of events. So I would say his success and strength comes through Mars mostly, and so let's look at the timing of events. So in '58, he had helped with the World Cup during a Venus period. Venus, again, giving success. Had a daughter during a Jupiter period in '64. Jupiter, indicator of children. His dad died in '96 during a Saturn period. Now, Saturn is sitting in the house that is associated with father. Then in '77, again, he was in the World Cup. He retired. He had a kidney removed, all during a Rahu period. Rahu causing huge changes, life changes, life changing events. Then in 2012, he had a hip replacement during a Jupiter period. Jupiter is associated with hips. In 2006, his daughter died during a moon period. Moon is associated with the 12th house of death or end of life. In 2019, he had a urinary infection during a Saturn period. Saturn is ruling the seventh house, which has to do with urinary issues. 2021, he had colon cancer, surgery during a K2 period. K2 um, sitting in the house of death-like experiences, and then he was hospitalized with respiratory infection, um, and went into palliative care during a Rahu K2 period, and then he passed away most recently on December 29th. May he rest in peace. And if you look at the chart on the left, the circular chart, you see the transits at the time of death. Rahu and Ketu were right at the most effective point, the rising sign degree. So they are afflicting 6 out of his 12 houses. Most importantly, they're afflicting the first house, which is the body and the longevity. You can see that Moon is afflicting Jupiter in the 8th house of death-like experiences, and then Rahu is afflicting natal Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn being the indicator for longevity again. So, what could be done to strengthen the chart? Transforming Rahu, Ketu, and Moon by helping others, which he did a lot of service work. But then strengthening the rest of the planets with either gemstones or my favorite remedy, which is a kavash. You can see it on our website, vastucreations.com. It contains the Devatai yantras for those planets. And at that same website, you can get a reading or learn transformational Vedic astrology. As you can see, it's quite accurate. Thank you so much for listening.